Hi everybody, Jo here again. I thought it was time we had another little catch up. So how are you feeling? I hope you've had a good week since we last had a catch up. I hope things have gone well. Now, thank you for your lovely comments as always. And a couple of you asked if we could have more Christmas card designs. But also some of our lovely friends and followers in Australia have said that would it be possible for me to do a couple of designs without snow on? Because obviously you don't get snow, do you? Mind you, to be fair, we don't often get snow here either, but we do tend to put it on our cards a lot, don't we? Mind you, I think I just love flicking white paint everywhere. So today I thought I'd come in with this design, and what I thought with this is you could easily adapt it. So I'm having this as a Christmas card because I'm using beautiful mistletoe stamp here. But also my idea is that we've got Pipin here. Now you could substitute him for a different animal. We've got so many lovely Lavinia animals. And also I've gone with the ivy stencil because again I was thinking holly, ivy, mistletoe, Christmas theme, but you could substitute that and change it for a different stencil so it doesn't have to be Christmas. And I've again gone for a lovely green tone. I mean, I'm going to use one of the Elements ink pads and I've gone for olive. But again, you could change the colour. You know, I just like to sort of whet your crafty appetite so that hopefully you'll go away and it will inspire you to get creative. So that's the theory behind today's. I'm not using a huge amount of products again. I'm working with what we've got so that again, you can expand it if you wish. Or if you're one of our new beginners, our new friends at Lavinia, well then you can start creating with just a few products and gradually build up. So anyway, as I say, that's my theory behind it. Now, I know you like to know sizes. So this is a 6x6. Again, I use ready-made. I just use ready-made card blanks. So mine's a 6" by 6". So my topper is a 5.5". And then my other topper is 4.5" by 3". Just because that gave me a nice size. But I've got to be honest, this came from an offcut when I cut this out of my A4 Multi-Fairies card. So that's the way my mind works. You know what I'm like. Now, to start off with, I'm going to edge. You know I like to do my edging to start off with. Now this one, I'm going to do black. I know it's a Christmas card, so like I was telling you last week, you could use a different colour marker if you want. I'm going to go for my black pen to do this. And again, it's just a matter of holding your card down and then just having conviction and going round. But again, if you wanted, I could have used a green if I had a green pen. I could use a green marker. I mean, this design would look nice in sort of, if you wanted to theme your Christmas cards with, say, a red tone, you could use red. I tried to have a different colour each year. It's a bit like my tree. I don't know, do you sort of stick with the classic red and gold, or do you have sort of pinks were in, blues, turquoises? I think sometimes it's nice to just mix it up a little, isn't it? Right, let's have a clean piece. It always looks a little bit better. And we'll do our stamping first. And as I say, the two stamps I'm using, one is Pipin, and he's just a gorgeous. He's a must-have. He really is my... I've got to be honest, I have a lot of favourite stamps, but he's the one that he just comes out again and again. And we'll start with him. And I'm using the VersaFine Claire, and I'm using the Nocturne. So we'll stamp him first. Just check I've got a nice amount of ink on there. And we'll just pop him here. And again, he's a silhouette, so I'll just give that ink time to just soak in. Again, he doesn't go far from my desk. Probably told you before, I've got two Pipin stamps, Pipin 1 and Pipin 2, because I couldn't bear my life if he was to run off. And then we're going to use this lovely mistletoe stamp. And again, remember about using your acetate to give you an idea. I mean, this would look lovely, just totally monochromatic. But when I was doing it, I really couldn't decide whether the mistletoe, I love the black and I wanted to bring some black stamping to go with sort of the black edge and Pipin, but I also wanted to bring green in. So what I decided to do is just basically use both. So I'm going to stamp the mistletoe the first time in black. And I'm just turning it round just because for me, it's easier the way my head works. And we'll just put this one coming sort of there. And again, have you noticed I've got my new little Lavinia stamp acrylic block. It's so cute. Right, so we'll give that a minute to just soak in. Beautiful, look at that. Now, my theory is, let's just get rid of a bit of that second generation. Then I'm going to come in with the Shady Lady. So that way I get some of the green as well. Now this is such a well-used ink pad. It's not a very strong colour. And I'm thinking, let's just bring the mistletoe down a bit. Let's sort of go here. And then Pipin's got something to look up at. And I'm not worried if I'm over stamping with the black. That's nice. And then we need a bit more here just to follow that round, don't we? And as I say, if you're not sure, just get your acetate back and have a look. Gives you an idea of where you're stamping. Now, last week we talked about batch card making. And again, I think this would be a lovely design to batch card make. And I just want a tiny bit more. Just in this gap here. Yeah. Yes, I like that. I like that flow. So I'm thinking this, as I say, you could batch card make this, no problem. Now, you know me, I've just got to give my stamps a bit of a wipe. I'm afraid I am that person that needs them clean. So that was the mistletoe. As I say, such a pretty. Now, I have got a feeling I could make a mistletoe wreath with that. And that, you know me, I'm going to have a go at that. Give that a quick blot. Try and get in the habit of always blotting when you're using your VersaFine Clay. Now I just want to add my landscape mask. So I'm going to bring in my almost flattest one, and we're going to be using the elements, and I've got my stencil brush. Now the first thing I want to do is just get a little bit of the olive and pop the lid on. And I'm going to take it off on my mat because I don't want much at all. And that's the one thing, a few of you have asked about this, and these colours are absolutely full of pigment, really, really strong colour. But the best way to use any of the mask stencils is little. Just take off as much as you can and then always come on to the mask first. And I'm going to start under Pipin because that's where I'll add a bit of shadow. So that's where I want it darkest anyway. And it's Be Gentle, a nice light flick. And I can just come down a bit further. And if I want to see how much, yeah, maybe I'll just add a little wee bit stronger. But again, that's the beauty of this. You can just build up this colour. I think we'll call that a day with that. So, I mean, already I love that as just a topper. I know it's very simple, but I just want a little bit more to it. So what I'm going to do is bring my card. Now, again, I'm working on the side just because for me, I find this easier. Now, you could tape this down if you wanted at this stage. I'm just going to hold it in place. And I'm going to bring in my stencil. And as I say, this one is the lovely Ivy stencil. And I'm actually going to put it across the card. I love diagonals, but I want to be mindful. I don't want to get this edge because once I start inking, me being me, I'm going to ink over that. So what I'm going to do is just take my card and flick that under, just so I don't go over that edge. Now, just to make it easier for you to understand what I'm doing, I'll put that back square. So that's where I want it. And then I want my stencil across. As I say, for me, I want to turn it this way. And I want this lovely stenciling right across there. And I'm just spending a minute checking. It's worth checking. What is it they say? Check twice, cut once. So yeah, that's under there. I'm happy with that. And I like the flow here. Right. What I'm going to do is pick some ink up from here, but not much. And again, we're going to come in gently, gently. And it's almost a bit of a sort of a flicking motion, but nice and gentle. Let's have a look. Always have a look. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then as I come on to my actual design, I'm just being even more gentle because I want this in the background over Pipin. I don't want the strong colour. Now, if I lift up again and have a look, oh, that's just enough. So I'll maybe just come in a bit deeper here. And then I'll pick a little bit more up and I'll just come in a bit deeper in this corner. And across the bottom, I can afford to be a bit deeper. And it's just a nice sort of flicking motion. And you'll get used to how much ink you could control, but it really is to start off with a very gentle and take off on your mat. You really, I know I say it a lot, but do take it off and just be nice and gentle and you'll find you can get the most delicate effects. Look, when we put that back square. Now again, for batch card making, for me, I've already got ink on there. So if I put that on another piece of card, I could actually brush that ink off, or I could spritz it and get myself another print. But also batch card making, I would use up this ink on here. But obviously today we're not going to. Now, what I will do is just wipe this up, because otherwise, you know me, I'll put my hands in it and then try to be tidier crafter as I can be. And so that, when you stick it down, is your design. Now, what we can do, a couple of the finishing little tricks, and we're just going to come in with our chalk pastel pencils. And you know me, I just like to add my highlights on Pipin with my pastel pencils, just because for me, it's a little bit more forgiving. Now, I know a lot of you are very good with your gel pen, but for me, I just find my pastel pencil that bit more forgiving. And I could add some highlights if I wanted, just on those black, just a couple, not too much. And then if we want to add our shadow, now we want a green tone and obviously the shadow's going to be black. So we're going to come in with our shadow under Pipin here. Now we want to make it almost look like Pipin. Now if you struggle with this, I find the best thing to do is bring Pipin back in and just have a look. So if we hold him this way, that would be how his shadow would look. So if I just put that there, that gives me an idea that if I follow that round, his tail will be there, his body will come round, and then we have one ear there, his little nose there, and then his foot. And that gives me just the idea, roughly. So when I come this way, I can just add my black charcoal or my pastel pencil and then just give it a smudge. And it just gives a more sort of realistic, shadowy look. So we've added the green and the black to blend that nice shadow. And then, as I say, to finish off, I'm dying to flick snow, but I'm not going to. What I'm going to use is, I've got some liquid pearls. Now, again, if you had some white gems, they would look beautiful. You could actually put white paint. So it's whatever you actually fancy using. And again, it depends what products you've actually got available to you. Glitter would look nice. Now, I would suggest when you're doing this to actually just do your blobs of mistletoe furthest away first, just so you don't get your hand in it. And like I say, whichever way, I think when you're batch card making, I think gems would look lovely, but for me, I think it would be rather a lot of gems if I was batch card making this. So for me, that's where the liquid pearls comes in. And obviously once it's dry, and although you've got quite a lot of mistletoe, you don't actually use a lot. Have I got them all? I think I've missed one there. Would be right at the beginning, wouldn't it? I'm trying to not put my head over the camera. You don't want to see the top of my head, do you? And that just adds a nice dimension to it. So that's it really. So again, I leave mine without a sentiment to start off with, and then I can decide what sort of sentiment I want. But I think that is just such a lovely design. And again, as I say, it doesn't have to take a lot of time. It would be perfect for batch card making, but also you could mix it up a little. So I'll bring in the original one and I'll slide that under and put that on there just so you can see the two together. So I hope you have a go at that. And as I say, maybe mix it up a bit. Maybe use a couple of different stamps, different stencil. I actually think some green paint, little splats would look nice as well. I do love my splats, don't I? So if you have a go, do tag me in. As I say, I'd love to see if you want to post your pictures, and that way we can inspire and help each other. So thank you for joining me as always. I hope you have a good week. I'll pop back next week, come up with another idea to share with you. So you take care. Much love and hugs from me. Bye for now.